Cool. Well, let's get started. Thanks everyone for joining on this lovely Friday morning in November. My name's Adam, and I'm the founder of Blaze, and really excited today to talk about how Blaze helps Shopify store owners like you move a lot faster, push more merchandise, and free up your time in the process. Just for some background on me, I'm from New York City originally. Now I live in San Francisco. I come from a family of small business owners and entrepreneurs. I have always loved starting things and making things, and I spent most of my career in tech, um, working at Apple and Lyft and a fintech. But my passion has always been trying to figure out ways to support more entrepreneurs so that more people can take control of their futures and make money through their own ideas and creativity and hustle. And that's what we were doing with Blaze. Blaze is really a tool for helping people like you grow your business on the internet. And the people that we see really getting a lot of value out of Blaze are small business owners, entrepreneurs, freelancers, consultants, creators, and specifically Shopify store owners. A lot of these people have to do marketing, but don't really identify as marketers. They're not professional marketers. They don't have training in paid acquisition or writing SEO optimized blog content or designing web pages, but still they need to do those things in order to sell their products or services. And often the people that we serve at Blaze are teams of one. They are the owner, they are the CEO, they're the marketer, they're the salesperson, they're the customer service representative. They have to do everything to really run their business and make it successful, not just marketing, but all the other roles as well. And the reason we started Blaze is because for especially these folks, entrepreneurs, small business owners, teams of one, it's pretty easy today to start a business online or get your business online. There are great tools like Squarespace or Square for setting up a landing page. There's tools like Shopify, obviously, for setting up an online store. You can easily set up a blog post on Medium. You can create a social media presence and post ads on Facebook and Google. But the hard part about those tools is that they don't actually tell you how to make good content or a good landing page or good ads or good posts. And so it's really hard, even despite these tools for getting online, to actually grow your business because the marketing and the sales and the workflows are not intuitive if you haven't been doing it a long time. And so we see this in the numbers where there's still about 36% of small businesses in the United States that don't even have a website. But in general, you can see that of the 33 million small businesses in the US that are online, still 70% of online business is dominated by top 10 retailers. And so small business is not really breaking through or reaping the advantages of the internet as much as big professional businesses with large teams of marketers are. And we want to change that at Blaze. We serve a lot of people today who run Shopify stores, and we spent time talking to, at this point, hundreds of Shopify store owners. And what we hear often from them is that it's really important to differentiate the products that you're selling on Shopify and your brand from a ton of competition and a ton of noise. No matter what category you're in when you're selling online, if you're selling physical products, whether it's food or apparel or candles, there's tens or 100 other brands that are doing the same thing. And so the imperative is, how do you break through and have your product resonate in the eyes of consumers and grow much faster than everybody else? And then the second challenge we hear a lot from Shopify store owners is that you have to not just figure out a great product to sell, but you have to then figure out how you want to distribute marketing for it across all different types of channels. It's one thing to create something and great. It's another thing to have people hear about it, become aware of it, consider it, try it, buy it, keep it, buy more of it. And almost that last piece of trying to distribute your product takes way more work and is way harder to do than thinking of the initial idea in the first place. And so what we hear often from Shopify store owners is that they are missing out on revenue that's easily within reach. They know what to do. They know they should be creating ads. They know they should be writing blog content. They know they should be making videos. They know they should be reaching out to customers on their email list, but they're not doing it because they don't have time. And because of that, they have a ton of inventory that sitting in a warehouse somewhere that they haven't marketed well. And yet, despite knowing what to do and despite having, revenue that they could be making from all that spare inventory, all the marketing stuff is still at the bottom of the to-do list. And when it gets done, it can feel rushed or poorly done. And so a lot of Shopify store owners are caught in this vicious cycle of having inventory they have to sell, knowing the right ways to sell it, but not having enough time or expertise to sell it well. And that's what we solve at Blaze. A lot of the people we talk to come to us feeling overwhelmed by what they have to do, lonely because they're trying to do it on their own, and stressed. Often, they're relying on themselves to make money for their family, and we don't want you to feel that way anymore. And so, what I'll demo you today is how Blaze can help you as a Shopify store owner get a set of superpowers where you can leverage all of the expertise and brilliance from professional marketers on the internet for your specific business. And produce marketing and sales content in your own brand voice 10 times faster than you could on your own. And so with that, I will go to a demo of the product. And so because we're talking about Shopify today, what I wanted to use was maybe an example of a Shopify store that we've created for Blaze. And so this isn't real, and I'm sure it looks a lot worse than your own Shopify store, but we at Blaze have built our own Shopify store to understand what y'all go through every day. And this is an example of a Blaze swag store. And none of this merchandise is real, but maybe someday you will be able to purchase it online. And so this is just an example of a pretty basic store that we set up in a couple of hours. As you can see, not a lot of marketing, not a lot of content attached on it. And today I want to show you how Blaze can help you take content, take merchandise like this, and turn it into real sales. So this is the Blaze application. It's available at blaze.ai. You can go on and sign up yourself. And the first thing I want to show you in Blaze is how Blaze can help you generate content in your own brand voice. If you've used other AI tools or ChatGPT, a lot of the output often sounds like it's in what I call internet voice, where it's basically compiling what everything sounds like on the internet. So it doesn't sound like you. It often doesn't even sound compelling or good. And so it can be a waste of time to use an AI tool to help you write when the quality isn't there, and you might as well have just written it on your own. And Blaze solves that through a really cool feature we have called Brand Voice. And how this works is that you can tell Blaze to analyze your brand either from your website or text if you have a brand document. You can also upload documentation or select a doc already in Blaze. In this case, I'm going to have it analyze Blaze's brand voice from our website here. So I'll just type in our URL, and I'm going to have it analyze. And you can see here, Blaze broke down, or Blaze, the application broke down our own brand voice in 7 different aspects: the audience, the purpose of the brand, tone, emotions, character, syntax, and language. So I'll just take a minute to read through this. As I already talked about, we really target teams of one, so it got right with individual marketers. We serve a lot of Shopify store owners, like e-commerce businesses. Marketing teams is absolutely correct. Yeah, we often are talking to people, as I mentioned, who have to do marketing but aren't marketers. So this looks exactly right. And the cool thing about this brand voice output is that I can edit any of this. So, let's say the purpose of our brand isn't to promote our own products. I can delete that, and I can also add in things as well. And so you can basically edit the output that Blaze gives you to make sure that it's exactly right for how you think about your brand, not just what Blaze analyzed. So I'm going to, I'll pick a fun emoji here, and I'm going to create this voice. And you can see here that now we've created this brand voice. I'm also just going to rename this to be blaze.ai brand. The great thing about brand voice as well is that you can create multiple brand voices, so that if you speak about different products in different ways, or you write on Instagram differently than you record TikTok videos versus how you publish blog posts, you can create brand voices by channel or for different products. So you can have multiple brand voices, hypothetically infinite brand voices, so that Blaze generates content to sound exactly like you for your specific product or channel. Cool. So now that we've set up our brand voice, the next thing I'm going to do is write some product descriptions. So back to our fun Shopify store here. As you can see, the merchandise I think is pretty cool. I would like to buy this hoodie, but when I, click in to the page, there's not much here, just a header. And normally, best practices on Shopify is that the more details you give users, the higher the conversion on the product. And so the best Shopify stores have a ton of descriptions and other content around the product to excite the consumer and motivate them to buy. And Blaze can help you do that if you don't have a lot of time or a ton of ideas. So the way you do that in Blaze is to click on Create New, and you can see all the things you can do in Blaze, from setting up your business in the first place. If you don't even have a Shopify store yet, we can help you write a landing page, your About Us page, figure out your pricing. We can help you launch your product, and then also promote your business and products over time through content, emails, social posts, ads, and then over time, even support your customers through things like reply templates for customer service inquiries or figuring out a return policy. I'll go through a bunch of these today, but let's start with the product descriptions, because that's often step number one for a lot of Shopify store owners. So you can see here we have a option to create Shopify product descriptions. And in this case, we're talking about our hoodie. So maybe I'll write the iconic Blaze hoodie in navy blue, made in the USA from the finest wool and cotton, available in all sizes, small, medium, large, perfect for cold winters and the upcoming holiday season. Can't miss item for Blaze.ai enthusiasts. You can also add in some keywords here. So let's say we want our product description to mention hoodie. We wanted to mention Blaze.ai. We wanted to mention made in the USA, made in USA. So you can make sure that there's certain keywords that are brought in here. And you can also choose that brand voice that we already created. You can create more brand voices. And if you don't want to write in your brand voice, you can also pick from some of these tags to tell Blaze what tone to create the content in. And I'll call this Blaze hoodie product description. You can also, and I'll show you this in a little bit, choose where to save your docs in Blaze. Blaze is basically a project management tool where you can create different folders or projects for types of content or campaigns. In this case, I'm going to save it in this existing project for Blaze Swag Store. And then I'll have Blaze generate the content. And so what Blaze will do here is give me a whole bunch of different product titles and descriptions. So you can see it writing those out as we go, which is pretty cool. And already there's some great copy in here. So I'll let it finish writing. And the great thing about Blaze is that even after Blaze generates content, you can edit this yourself. So let's say Blaze is based on a real-time document editor, just like Google Docs. So I can go in here and modify the content if I don't like. For example, it's putting in AI everywhere, and I don't love how that sounds written out. So I'm going to go in and kind of edit some of this. Let me just take a minute to read through this. They all actually sound pretty good. Kind of like this one, though, of all of them. Although there's a bunch of good copy variants here, so I'm glad that this document is going to be saved for later, because I might want to use this. As you can see, I can go in and make some edits. But let's say I like this kind of third idea Blaze gave me for the product description. And so I'm going to go back over here to my Shopify store. And I'm going to go into products. And what I can do is paste this text right in here. So I think this is the new title. I think it's copying a whole bunch of HTML there. So let me just copy the text. And then I'm going to copy text here. And I think if I save this, see if I go back to my Blaze, it's not showing up just yet, but I'm sure I'm doing something wrong. But you can see how easy it is to move stuff from Blaze directly into your Shopify store. So now we have this great description for our super cool hoodie. But let's say I wanted to create a blog post around this, because we know that just because we've made the product doesn't mean that anyone has heard about it. And I want to create a post that introduces the product. What I can do is highlight text in Blaze and basically turn either a whole document or even a segment of the document into a different type of content through that turn into button. So you can see here's a whole bunch of things that I can turn some content from Blaze into. And in this case, I'll select blog post, but I could write a case study about the hoodie. I could get tweet ideas or posts. I could make ads from a piece of content, but I'll choose blog post, and then it'll take me to our blog post wizard. One of the things that's great about Blaze versus using other AI tools is that we try and give you a ton of options to make sure that the content that Blaze eventually pushes out is super high quality. With AI, what we've found is often the quality of the inputs, the more information you give the tool, the better the output is. And when you're going back and forth with a tool like ChatGPT, it can take 10 or 20 or 30 rounds to try and get the output you like. And with Blaze, our goal is that you get some content right from the start that sounds exactly like you, that you can use within seconds. So when I'm going to write this blog post here, the first thing Blaze asks me is what I like to write about. And so as you can see, it copied in that description straight from our product descriptions document. And so I'll just use that as the prompt. And yeah, the goal of this article is, let's say it is promotional, right? Where we're introducing a new product. And our target audience here is tech enthusiasts, hoodie wearers, what else? Blaze lovers, fashionistas, fashion lovers. I can choose the length here, so you can see that I'm going to say it's about, maybe I want a medium sized post, and again, I want some keywords around hoodies. Blaze swag. That sounds good. I'm going to choose my brand voice again. The call to action here should be go to swag.blaze.ai to buy one today, so we can make sure that our post brings people, calls people to the right action. And yeah, let's say I am a tech CEO, so I can say that is my persona. And once I filled in kind of the purpose and goals of the blog post, Blaze will generate a whole bunch of sample titles for us. And just like these are super long titles, but because I don't like that, I'm going to have them regenerate. Yeah, and these are a little bit shorter. So you can see, even if Blaze doesn't give you the right output within seconds, you can get something better. Yeah, I kind of like this first title. It's seasonal, feels relevant, and gets into exactly what makes our hoodie so great. And so once I like that title, Blaze will then extrapolate from that title and create the intro paragraph for my blog post, as well as an outline. So if you want to take a second and read through this with me, I like that I got in some of these SEO keywords we mentioned, like tech enthusiast, hoodie lover, fashion enthusiast. Maybe this is where we don't, again, this is all editable. So you can go in and update the copy. You can also regenerate it if you don't like it. But it gets in, our sizes here. It talks about comfort and style. It gets in the seasonality that we mentioned on the winter and holiday season. And so, yeah, you can see also here, Blaze showing what the blog post will be structured as with H2s and H3s. And it looks pretty good. So I'm going to, again, choose a location here. And now I think I'm ready for Blaze to generate the full post for me. And so you'll see Blaze writing the content as we go based on the outline it created there. And again, this is the header that we chose. Here are the the H2s and the H3s. Cool. And so let's say, this looks pretty good outline wise, but it's a little short in some places. So what I can also do is ask Blaze to write more. And what it'll do then is lengthen the content that we've created. So as you can see now, there's, some longer paragraphs here versus the one-liners before. And so, even if Blaze doesn't give you the output that you exactly want from the start, you can go back and forth with it to write more. And as you can see here on the right side, to change the tone of the whole thing, or of just a selection of your text, to change the length, or just improve the quality, where it'll take a pass through the whole thing. So I'll let it finish here. And I think it looks pretty good this time as I take a look over. So I'm going to press done. And again, I can go and kind of edit any of this stuff. And just to show you, obviously, Blaze isn't the tool where you actually go and publish this blog post. So you can export any document in Blaze to HTML, to PDF, or you can connect Zapier. And the cool thing about that is if you use a different CMS like WordPress or Drupal to manage your blog, you can set up a Zap where Blaze can automatically export blog content to your CMS. You can also set up different Zaps so that if you're writing ads or emails or social posts in Blaze, you can export individual doc types to different services that you use to publish those data. So in one click, you can get stuff out of Blaze into the tool that you use as the next step in your workflow in the right format. In this case, I could copy all of this and go back to our online store over here, go to blog post, and paste some of this in. So that gives you a sense of how Blaze writes blog posts. And so as you can see, that probably took us less than 10 minutes to do. And so you can quickly spit out a ton of blog content for weeks of engagement with your users using Blaze in just a couple of minutes. Cool. So now that we have this great blog post, often the next thing that we hear from Shopify store owners is, yeah, blogs are great, but I need to reach customers where they are. And that's on Instagram, that's on Facebook, that's on Twitter, that's on TikTok. I have a big email newsletter that has all the customers I've had before. I don't use that enough. So what you can do in Blaze is take, for example, a piece of long form content like this blog post we just wrote, and generate a campaign from it with all different types of content for different channels. So a campaign is essentially syndicated content. And so the first thing Blaze asked me to do, here's name what this campaign is about. So let's say introduce our new Blaze hoodie. And Blaze can pull from different types of source content. You can create a campaign from a website. If you've created a new landing page, for example, in this case, it selected the document we were just on, which is that blog post. Again, Blaze will write in the docs in the voice you choose. And the cool thing is then you can basically transform that source content into all different types of other content. And so in this case, let's say I want to take that blog post and generate ads from it. I want social posts for Instagram and LinkedIn. I'm going to make a TikTok video from it. I also want a newsletter and maybe some SMS messages. And so I'll call this hoodie intro campaign. And I can even create a new project for it. And it's as simple as clicking generate, and you'll see that Blaze will start to create all the documents I asked it for, the ads, the posts, the TikTok scripts. And if I were to go into any of these, you'll see Blaze generating content pretty quickly as we go. The great thing about our outputs for these different types of channels is that they give you often metadata and content that's formatted for that channel. So in this case, for Facebook ads, Blaze gives us a bunch of different ideas, as you can see, but more specifically, it gives the target audience that you might use when you're in Facebook Ads Manager. It gives both the primary text and the headline, so basically formatted for the way that you need to structure ads in Facebook. And it gives you tons of ideas that you can mix and match. You can also, again, go back and forth with Blaze if you don't love these. Some of the other formats I just want to show are Instagram posts. So you can see here, Blaze will give a ton of different caption ideas as well as hashtag inspirations. I'll show you the newsletter. So here's a draft of a newsletter that gives you essentially the subject line and then is written in a much more conversational style. And it gives you a bunch of alternative headlines in case you don't love Meet the Future of Comfort. In fact, I kind of like Blaze Ahead. I think that sounds funnier for our brand. As well as the meta description, which is super helpful and an important tag in most email tools. Last one I want to show you is kind of this TikTok script. And so the TikTok script will give you both what you should say yourself, as well as ideas for visuals along the way and captions for TikTok. And again, these are based off of both the prompts we gave Blaze around our hoodie, the brand voice, as well as what Blaze knows works really, really well for TikTok creators around the internet. And that's ultimately the value of Blaze, is that it's not just you creating content for yourself, but with Blaze, you have the power of all the expertise and all the knowledge on the internet at your fingertips. Cool. Well, thanks for joining everyone today. And I hope you have a great holiday season and prosperous Black Friday. And we will see you on Blaze.ai soon.